here's the thing. If you're asking me, it can only be... And some of the greatest characters, of course, have to be Rainey and Ruby because they're joining me live now. Good afternoon, ladies.
Hello.
And is Tanya...
Gabby.
Hello. That's
hello.
you, Tanya. Hello, my lovely.
It is.
And
hello.
Louisa, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah,
Hello.
you are.
How are you?
Oh.
Hey, Louisa, I can hear you sing.
Hello.
Oh, Rainey and Ruby and anybody beginning with R.
Oh, dear.
Oh, how lovely to speak to you. Now, I'm going to tell you that we've run a bit of a poll, so it's been on Twitter and through the show. We have found out that, in fact, by 2 votes, it's, let me tell you, the winner is EastEnders.
Whoa.
Followed by Coronation Street. And I know, actually, that all of you guys all get on. But so it's wonderful, wonderful, wonderful that EastEnders is back. You have no idea. Both of you know me and you know that I love the show. For me and for all the other viewers, I thank you so much that you are back. It's a complete and utter joy. But I suppose for you guys, it must be even more exciting. Tanya?
Yes.
What's it like being back?
Yeah, I mean, it's been great. We've been back filming for 2 months now, and I think we were all getting really itchy and stir crazy to get back onto set. So it was really just a rush of adrenaline, and I think we've all thrown ourselves into it with real gung-ho. So, yeah,
with aplomb.
Happy days.
Louisa, how was it for you going back? Was there a fear, or were you just so excited to get back?
Obviously, I was so excited to get back to work, but there was the fear. You almost felt like it was your first day back again, if that makes sense, like your first day back at school. Obviously, we haven't seen each other for so long. None of us had been on set for so long, and also it was a total new way of working. So I think there was a bit of nerves as to how we were going to get this up and running, but we did, and it's been amazing.
So can you give us an idea of how EastEnders works? We'll come to the stories and we'll come to the storylines and how you're covering the lack of EastEnders over a few months. But how do you guys all work now, Louisa?
So obviously for us, there's just so much that's been put in place. So we all work at a social distance of 2 meters at all times. So that's cast, crew, whoever's in the building. So obviously as an actor, you're used to being up close and personal to pretty much everyone you work with and being very tactile. So it's been really interesting, but we are still managing to sort of create a normal episode of EastEnders, which will be on screen. But for us, we've filmed everything at a social distance. So it's really interesting because so many people have been like, how is this going to work? But yeah, it's for the audience at home watching, I don't really think they'll notice much of a difference.
See, that's incredible because, of course, you've all got to be careful. Then the audience, Tanya, I suppose the audience are going to be watching it and then thinking, how did they do that? How did they do that? But you've done it so cleverly that hopefully within a few moments we'll forget that.
Yes, I mean, as Louisa was just saying, on that first day that we went back in and we were told how it was all going to be done, I was just literally looking at the tricks that they were showing us and going, oh my gosh, that is absolutely amazing. And it is so clever, and it has, although it does take longer, it definitely takes longer to film at the moment, but it's worth it because I think the quality of what we're going to see is really going to, like Louisa just said, the audience really shouldn't notice a huge difference. We really sort of made sure that, and the directors are having to really think on their feet again. It's like everything that they've learned before as the constructs of how you would film a soap like this or a show or any kind of filming. Suddenly you're going to have to go back to basics and say, oh my gosh, we're starting again from scratch and learning new tricks.
Now,
so it's great.
Especially for you, your character, not you per se, but I was going to say you're very physical. But you are. I love to hug you when I see you, but I can't. But and you as well, Louisa. But for Rainey is they're all over each other, aren't they? I mean, they're her big bear, and it's always a cuddling and up close and So how do you do all of that?
So we've just really had to work around, just new ways of doing it. So, I mean, if we're close to each other, we've had, perspex coming in where there's a screen which sort of allows us to stand close together. And
Brilliant.
yeah,
Brilliant.
there's just been lots of moments where you're still going to see us being close, but it has all been filmed 2 meters distance away from each other. Yeah, and they do plate shots, and they're doing slicing scenes, slicing shots together, and so they're splitting the screen and pulling it together. It's amazing, absolutely amazing.
Well, you know how I think EastEnders, and I think the people who put it together are absolutely brilliant. And Louisa, for Ruby, of course. When we last okay, so let's go before we go back to where the story was. Are you picking up in real time, or are you picking up from Easter?
No, so we're picking up real time. So we are, 3-4 months ahead. I don't even know how long we were in lockdown for now. It's a massive blur.
Forever.
So we are, forever. We are coming back as if, it's now. So the audience would have missed, quite a few months of story, but it's all explained as we go along. I think, for me personally, it was a shame because I was just before lockdown starting off like the new relationship with Martin, like Ruby and Martin starting their somewhat affair. And obviously all of that now has to have happened off screen. So we come back in a relationship. So I don't think it will take much for the audience to get their heads around because it is all explained. And I think it's better that it happened that way rather than going back in time, because we would have been doing Christmas in March. It wouldn't have made sense.
Lots of television does get made in March for Christmas, though. Let's do that. But so is the pandemic mentioned? Because I know that's been a lot of people have been wondering about that. Are you making reference to it? Are you sitting in masks when you go to the pub? Are you only drinking outside? I mean, how is that covered?
Yeah, well, it is referred to. COVID is referred to. The pandemic is referred to, and lockdown is referred to. But it's not. We're not making that the focus of the show.
Good.
Because I think the producers. Yeah, I think the producers really sat down and thrashed it all out and decided that actually we've lived through the lockdown. We all know what that was like. That's fine. We've been through it. So. Let's get back to some escapism and get back to some drama and the world of EastEnders as we know it, rather than it. Although it is current, and although we do deal with issues that are happening today, it's changing all the time. So you can't necessarily be talking about lockdown now because that's changed just in the time that we've been filming. So they're having to think ahead really, and so that's not the focus really. It's more about the drama of EastEnders as we know it.
Okay, so let's go on to the storylines. As you said, Louisa, that Ruby is now in a relationship. Can you tell us any more than that? I'm about to say, I was about to use your real names. I was about to say, Louisa, you're in a relationship with James, but no, you're not. That's not what I meant.
Don't tell my fiancé.
No. Yes, exactly. Congratulations on your engagement again, because I have spoken to you about that. But no, Ruby, of course, is in a relationship with Martin.
Yeah, so we come back on screen and they are in like a new relationship and it's all fun and exciting. But of course, Stacey comes back pretty soon, actually. I think quite imminently once the show's back on. So there's lots of drama surrounding that. Ruby also has a lot of money troubles. There's someone like stealing money from her. So yeah, it comes up with a lot of drama, which is great.
And how about Rainey? Where are we at with Rainey?
Well, Rainey and Stuart have had a really lovely lockdown. Actually, they've been having a lot of fun and happy together, and for once in both of their lives, they're actually having a really good time. So there's quite a lot of fun to come up with Rainey and Stuart.
I was about to tell you his name. Yeah, I thought you might have forgotten that. I was about to say Stuart.
It's not going to work for that long.
I had to work out all the husbands for a minute.
One of the things, though, that Rainey and Stuart bring to the show, and we were talking to Frank Cottrell-Boyce. I sound like I'm name-dropping, but of course he wrote Coronation Street for a very long time, and he was saying about how Coronation Street was always the funny one. But also EastEnders has some very fun and funny characters. And it's amazing how Rainey and Stuart, who were both the baddies are now the goodies, if you like. You know, that people have completely fallen in love in the same way that Martin was the most lovable soul, went through a very difficult and tough time and became a bit of a baddie. I'm using silly terms, but you know what I mean. So, but the laughter is important, isn't it?
Yeah, I think you tell good drama with laughter as well, because nothing is just one-dimensional, is it? Everything that happens with characters and people, and I think especially with continuing drama, you're portraying characters over a long period of time, so you want to see very rounded characters. Of course, people are bad, and of course, people are good, but fundamentally, we're such a, human beings are such a big mix of contradictions and hypocrisy, and we make mistakes and then we try and rectify them, and we do things impulsively and spontaneously, and sometimes we're in trouble and sometimes we're not. And I think that's that's the roundedness, I think, of continuing drama, and that's why these characters can keep turning around.
Okay, let's talk about you as real people, not just as your characters, because you are real people. Louisa, as we said, congratulations on your engagement. How was the few months? I know you and I were able to speak, and to you, Tanya, as well, because we did some lives. But how was the past few months when you weren't working? How was that for you?
Yeah, it was okay. Obviously, there was a lot of change. We were meant to get married and we moved our wedding. It was difficult to not see family, especially grandparents. But we were okay. We were all healthy, and that's sort of all you could have wished for during this time.
And obviously, they've now announced the new lineup of Strictly, and because you were there and you were brilliant in it.
I loved it.
I know you really, really did. When you look at it now, are you feeling, I don't want to say jealous because that's such a negative emotion. Are you envious of them starting on that journey?
Yeah, of course. I would do it every year if I could. It was the best thing I've ever done. And, I still get that nervous butterfly feeling in my stomach now when I hear the music. It's really strange. It was like 11 years ago. But obviously we've got Maisie doing the show, and she's a fantastic dancer. So no doubt she'll do really well.
I was looking for I thought I had the music on here, but I haven't, sadly.
No, don't play it.
How's Maisie feeling?
I think she's okay.
She's excited, isn't she?
Yeah. She'll be amazing. We'll all be there to support her.
And I've seen her dance. Of course, she did the Christmas one, didn't she, as well?
Yeah, she's brilliant.
Yeah, she's brilliant.
She's brilliant.
She's a fabulous dancer.
Okay, so Tanya, how about you? How are the injuries? And you're back running at last, aren't you?
Yeah, I am. I'm great. It's yesterday was my first time back out, where I just managed to do 2 miles without stopping. I just had this really annoying knee niggle that started about 9 weeks ago. Not that I'm counting the weeks. And literally, I just kind of went, I've got to. Oh no! My osteopath said, just stop running for now. And I'm like, what? You're joking?
Wow.
It's like, no. But I had to find patience deep within me and stop running. And I did plenty of rehab on it and strength exercises, and have slowly but surely over the last 2 or 3 weeks managed to get back up to 2 miles again, continuously running yesterday 2 miles, and very happy with that. So I'll just build gently again from there. But I'm actually not going to do more than 3 miles at a time now, I think, for the foreseeable. So just keep it gentle and keep a good foundation going.
Now, this is very important.
And then worry about the marathon again next year, I think.
It's very important to you, running, for mental health and everything. And you've spoken about it on this show, and you've spoken about it very openly about how you weren't a runner, and then suddenly you think that running has changed your life. And that sounds dramatic,
Definitely.
but it is as dramatic as that, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Because, it's really the thing that I had. I was completely averse to running until I agreed to do the marathon. And it was just something where I just went, no, it's going to be bad for your joints, it's going to be bad for your knees. And admittedly, I now have a knee niggle. However, the benefits of the running has far outweighed any fear now of odd little joint things that might happen as you go along, and minor injuries that you can sort out. So I think as long as I'm careful. I didn't start this at the age of 20, so I'm kind of just having to make sure that I look after myself. But at the same time, it's just a whole new focus for me, and it does allow me just to run and be free and feel energised and exercised, and I think it's really helped me to encourage strength training in myself as well, which I used to do yoga and that kind of thing, but I was never very committed to it on an ongoing basis. I would do bits here and there, and some weeks I would do some and some weeks I wouldn't. But now it's constant. Now, every sort of couple of days I'll be doing strength exercises, and every 2 or 3 days I'll be running. So
Good for you.
it's become a whole new regime for me.
How fantastic.
Love it.
You've also raised money for charity, Alzheimer's charities as well. So it's fantastic that that's back. Louisa, I have something for you if you have a careful listen. Here we go.
No!
Everyone who's been on Strictly says that it does the same thing, that your tummy lurches.
Isn't that so strange?
Does it still do that?
So much.
Does it do
Yeah,
that?
it does. It's honest. For the first 2 or 3 years after I did the show, I couldn't watch the show. It was awful because the nerves were still there. But I did. I loved it so much. I'm really, really looking forward to watching this year.
How wonderful. Now, listen, I'm just going to give you the duff-duffs again. We're going to announce now that it's Monday at 8:05, Tuesday at 7:35. I don't know, it's very odd times. It's Tuesday at 7:35, Thursday 7:35, Friday at 8:30, and they're 20-minute episodes, but we're still going to be having our 4 hits of EastEnders. So put it in your diaries, everybody. 8:05 on a Monday, 7:35 on a Tuesday, 7:35 on a Thursday, and Friday at 8:30. EastEnders is back. Oh, goodness me. As somebody who's never missed an episode, the idea of tomorrow night, anyone calling me at 8:05 for 20 minutes,
You're not answering.
I'm going to call you then, Gabby.
You
I'm
do that, and our friendship is well and
true.
No, it will be over forever. No,
And
I adore
what I'm going
you.
to do is I'm going to phone you at 8:05, and I'm going to leave you a 20-minute voicemail.
No, do you know what? You know what I can do? Here's the power. Look, Louisa, you can talk to me, can't you, Louisa?
Yeah.
Guess what?
Hello.
I faded Tanya. Now I'll fade you back up again. Ladies, thank you very much. Welcome back to our screens. What a joy to have you here, and a joy to have EastEnders back on the screen. Thank you both very, very much.
Thank
send my
you
love
so
to
much.
everybody there.
Nice to speak to you. Take care.
Bye.
See ya. Bye.
Oh, goodness me.